All right, welcome to Super Math Help 24. We want to look at this problem, and the problem goes as follows. Without formula or completing the square method, solve 2x squared minus 300x plus 10,282. Let's see how we can approach this without using this too obvious method. It simply means that we have to factorize, and factorizing something as large as this. Let's see what happens. Let's get into the video. All right, let me write the question down. Solution: we have 2x squared minus 300x plus 10,282 is equals to 0. Now, since I'm not going to use completing the square method and I'm not going to use formula method, now there's a unique method we are going to use, and this method was made, or the person who created the awareness is PO SHEN LOH, a one-time head of US Olympiad team. So I'm going to use this approach, and I'm going to try to make it clearer for everybody to follow what he did, or the approach he discovered. So the first thing is I need this to be unity, so I'm going to divide all through by 2, and then we'll have 2x squared minus 300x plus 10,282 is equals to 0. Divide this by 2, divide this by 2, divide this by 2, divide this by 2, and then we'll end up with x squared minus 150x plus 5141 is equals to 0. Now, we can actually factorize this. This is factorizable, but the problem is, how do you find the two factors of this number that will give you this? It will be difficult. This is where this PO SHEN LOH's method comes in. There's a unique property a number has with its middle. Half of a number has a relationship with any two other numbers that will sum up to give the number. What do I mean by that? Look at this. Observe this. Observe. Let me use e.g. let me use 58. Okay. Now let's pick two random numbers that will give us 58. Let's say 30 plus 28 will surely give me 58. Now there's a relationship between these two numbers and half of this number. What's half of 58? Half of 58 is 29. And 29 plus 1 will give me this 30. Do you also notice that 29 minus 1 will give me 28, and when you add this two, it will still give me 58. An interesting formula, an interesting relation. Now let's pick another number. Let's pick 36. Any two random numbers that will give me 36. Let me use 29 and 29 plus 7. These two numbers are odd. The first two I randomly pick are even, so let's see whether this works too. This will give me 36. What is half of 36? Half of 36 is 18. Notice that 18 plus 11 will give me 29, and also 18 minus 11 will also give me 7, and when you add this two, it will still give me 36. So this is an interesting property. If you observe, this is the factored form of difference of 2 squared. So we're going to use it to make our factorization method easier. Now let's get back to the business we are working with. We have x squared minus 150x plus 5151 is equals to 0. Trying the traditional method of multiplying this and this, looking for two factors that will give you this, will take a lot of time, because this, if you look at this, it's a product. It's given by a product of two prime numbers. So unless you know those prime numbers, you cannot factorize this using the traditional method. So what are we going to do now? In a factored form, let's say that this is the same as x plus m into x plus n is equals to 0. Let's say when we factor this, we're going to get this. Okay, now we know that when this is factored, it means that our m, okay, plus our n will give us what? Minus 150. And also our m times our n will give us this product, 5141. Okay, now using this property that we discussed here, what is half of this term? That's, let my m be half of this number now, that's minus 75, half of 150 minus 75 plus a constant. And my n will be also the same, half of the same number minus a constant, just with the property we described here. Now, m plus n, let's see what it will give us. Minus 75 plus c minus 75 minus c. When you add this, you notice it will give us 150. So this first part is secured. Then a product of these two terms too, a product of these two numbers too, minus 75 plus c times minus 75 minus c should give me this product, this number, right? Should give me that number. Should give me 5141. All right, now if you look at this, you notice they are factored form of difference of two squares. So if we apply that, if you expand this, you're going to get minus 75 all squared minus c squared is equals to 5141. Now if you square this, 75 squared will give me, this is 5625 minus 6 squared is equals to 5151. Now c squared is 5625 minus 5141. All right, c squared is 5625 minus 5141. Now c squared is equals to 484. That's the difference of these two numbers. Take the square root of both sides. C squared is equals to this will give me plus or minus 484. Now c is equals to plus or minus 22. Okay, now recall that we said that our m is equals to minus 75 plus c, meaning that our m is equals to minus 75 plus 22, and that will give me minus 53. And also we said that our n is equals to minus 75 minus c. That's our n is minus 75 minus 22. That will give us minus 97. And we said that the equation we were given, which was the equation we're actually solving, was x squared minus 150x plus 5141 is equals to 0 in a factored form will look like this. It will be x plus m, x plus n. Now substituting the values of our n, that means x, my m is that's minus 53 into x, my n is minus 97 is equals to 0. Please observe that whether you use plus or minus here, these values still remain. For example, instead of using plus 22 here, I mean I use minus 22, what I'm going to get will be minus 75 minus 22, which will give me this. If I use minus 75 plus 22, what I'm going to get will be this. So it doesn't really matter what you use, you still get the same values. So this is what I have. Now this is a product of two numbers that gives you 0. It means that either x minus 53 is equals to 0 or x minus 97 is equals to 0, transposing x is equals to 53 or x is equals to 97. And that's our solution. I hope I've made this method, this approach, PO SHEN LOH method, clearer. This method is far better than multiplying and trying to use two factors of the product to get your answer. Please follow our page on YouTube, Facebook, and Instagram. We have so much to learn from each other. We're expecting you. Please share that video. Thanks for being a part of this video. We appreciate the fact that you made out time to watch this. Thank you, and expecting to see and hear your comments.